Snow White. There was once a very wealthy man who had a very beautiful daughter who was named Snow White by her fairy godmother. Her mother had died when Snow White was born. And when the girl was 15 years old, her father married again. Snow White's stepmother was so arrogant that she was convinced she was the most beautiful woman in the world. Every day she looked at herself in a magic mirror that a wizard had given her and asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?"
"You are, my lady,"
the mirror would answer.
"You are the fairest."
But one day the mirror answered,
"Snow White is lovelier than you."
Furious, the stepmother ordered one of her servants to take Snow White to a distant forest and kill her. The two of them walked for several days, but when they reached their destination, the servant felt pity for Snow White. "Go," he said, unable to carry out his orders. When the sun was beginning to set, Snow White arrived at a little house near a stream. She knocked at the door, but nobody answered. And because she was tired, she went inside. Snow White fell asleep right away. The little house belonged to some dwarves, and when they got home from work, they were amazed to find a beautiful girl resting there peacefully. "She'll stay with us," said the oldest one. When Snow White woke up and saw the dwarves, she thought she was dreaming. But she soon realized that they were very kind, and they treated her with affection. So she decided to stay with them. The days passed, and Snow White's stepmother was happy because she thought that she was the most beautiful woman in the kingdom. One morning, she asked the mirror again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?"
"Snow White, who lives in the forest with the dwarves, is fairer than you,"
answered the mirror. Blind with rage, the stepmother thought of a plan to make sure that this time she would get rid of her rival. She disguised herself as an old woman, and, carrying a basket filled with poisoned apples, she went to the dwarf's house. "Delicious apples for sale," called the woman when she arrived at the house. Snow White, who had not seen anyone pass by for a long time, came outside to speak with the old lady. "Would you like one?" asked the woman kindly, offering Snow White the biggest, reddest, shiniest apple. When Snow White saw such a tempting apple, she accepted it. But no sooner had she taken the first bite than she fell dead at the feet of her wicked stepmother, who immediately ran off through the forest laughing. When the dwarves came home and found Snow White, they cried bitterly. The next day they built a bed of flowers and carried Snow White to the cave where they worked to bury her there. But suddenly there appeared a handsome prince on horseback. When he saw Snow White, he was so captivated by her beauty, he could not help kissing her. Then a miracle happened. Snow White came back to life. Captivated by her great beauty and kind heart, the prince asked her to marry him. And thus she became the queen of a great country, where she lived happily till the end of her days.